everybody. Welcome back to Pixel Junkies. You're listening to Pixel Junkies Podcast, episode 158.
8?
Yeah.
158. I'm one of your hosts, Adam.
I'm your other host, Rory DC. I'm your other host. There's no one else here.
You're one of the hosts?
Yeah.
I'm Aaron.
I'm not.
Alright.
So, Andrew.
Happy 420 Day.
What are we... Yes, happy 420 Day, which is the day we recorded this on.
It's still illegal.
Are you guys all spliffed up and high?
You know it.
Well, I will be leaving a joint under my pillow tonight in hopes that Soup Dog comes and gives me some money for it.
No, just the police.
I heard he quit.
He did, and then he didn't.
No, quit smoking weed.
I
thought didn't he come out and was like,
what?
That shit's bad for you.
No, hold on. You said, I heard he quit, and then Aaron said, he quit, but then he didn't, and then you said, no, as if you were going to correct what Aaron said, but you didn't, like, Aaron knew you were talking about Snoop Dogg, like, what, and weed, like, what do you...
Yeah, I was just gonna disagree with Aaron anyway.
I think he quit I was agreeing with you, so you were disagreeing with yourself. I think he quit for a very short period of time, and then just said, fuck it. He's like, this has been 2 days, it's long enough.
So we're playing God of War.
God of War what?
1.
Oh, is this first one?
This is the first. Well, this is the new one that came out. God of War, right?
Oh, right.
No, this is the first God of War game.
There's a tray in that chest.
And the reason we're playing it is because there's a new God of War game that just came out today on the day we're recording this, which is Friday, April 20th. And
because they're like, at 420 Day, let's reboot God of War or whatever.
Adam has played a bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched some of it.
And Adam, how do you like it so far?
I think it really good, considering I didn't really care for the first 3 at all.
Did you play through the first 3?
I played the first one way back in the day. I haven't played it since, so I don't really remember much about it. But I did play the first one to completion. Is that Jordan?
Probably.
Cool.
Nope. Well, or maybe he might have messaged you.
Nah, I'm good. Fell asleep.
That's good. We waited...
Thomas,
we waited about 45 minutes for Jordan to come. He was supposed to be on this episode.
Jordan telling me he's an asshole.
And so we waited for Jordan, didn't get a message back from him, and we knew as soon as we started the fucking podcast, he fucking messages him.
Yeah.
If he messages later and says like, "Oh, you guys going out for food after?" I'm not taking him. I'm on his own, but I'm not picking him up. I played the first one, and way back when it first came out, and then played again, and then I played a bit of the second one, and me and my cousin kind of played through. I mostly watched him play through the third one, and I didn't really care for any of them. I don't know. There's just something about the combat that I didn't like.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Just add to the continuity. You're also usually, I want to say, not a big hack and slash guy in terms of like Devil May Cry and stuff like that.
No, although I did like Devil May Cry.
I was sort of the same frame of mind.
Right, you like the new one. Yeah.
But this game I like more because the combat feels more visceral because the new one. Yeah, because they've pulled the camera, they've zoomed the camera in over his shoulder, so the combat feels a bit, it's tighter, it's not faster paced, but there's how to describe it, it's almost like it's more, it feels a little bit more tactical, where this one is more about destroying large waves of enemies. In that game, it seems you're dealing with small groups of enemies, but the variety is up more. So it's more like, instead of being like, oh, here's a shit ton of guys you just kind of got to mow your way through, you'd be like, here's 2 heavy guys and a bunch of ranged dudes throwing shit and one person that's like bopping around. You got to try and beat all of them, and it leads to more gameplay challenges. So that I really like, and I'm really digging like the story and the presentation and the atmosphere. That's all really well done.
So how
you also really like Norse mythology?
Yeah,
that's also worth noting.
Yeah, I also like Greek mythology. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
Yeah. Hydra is one of my favorite monsters, and I think these are harpies.
So how critical? Like the new one's a continuation of this story.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a soft reboot.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, how
you should
important is all of these games?
I would say go online and read through the Wikipedia summary of God of War 3.
Yeah.
In order to kind of get where you're going, because that's what I did just to get a refresher, because I wasn't going to play it again. But all you really need to do is read the synopsis of the first 3 games, and then you're good to go. And you don't even really need to do that, because they do a good job of explaining what everything is, but it helps lend a bit of weight to the character when you know what's kind of going on. Because
feel like you miss out on a lot of the nods, even just like gameplay nods, you know?
Yeah. Well, there's it's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer. Kratos' new wife, the woman he has Atreus with, is dead, and there's a few moments where you're like, man, this is the second time for him because spoiler alert, his first wife, who I forget the name of, is dead in this one. So they do a good job of kind of.
Well, he kills his wife and child in this time frame.
Yeah. So I mean, but that's what I mean. Like, there's a little bit of there's almost like if you know the characters, there's a bit of a callback where it's like this is you know that he's experiencing pain again, like this kind of pain again. So it's you don't need that doesn't take the fact that if you didn't know that it wouldn't take away from the scene, but it only adds to it. If that makes sense.
Totally.
So I really liking it so far. I'm only about 3 hours in or so I don't know how far along in the game I'm in. But so far I'm really enjoying it. There's a moment near the beginning, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's one of the coolest moments I've had in a video game in the past little bit. I would equate it. I haven't had joy like that in a video game since Titanfall 2, the time travel level.
So I guess there's dinosaurs in it then.
You'll have to just play it and see.
You get to ride a dinosaur or something.
You have to play and see.
Okay.
Anybody remember where to go?
Oh.
I didn't play it.
I think you got to go there.
It's been too long. I remember so little from this. It's ridiculous.
See, I don't know. It's just the thing about me with these games. I've seen some of the gameplay from the new one, and it looks interesting. And I don't know if it would be something that I'm into on the surface level, but I think if I played it, I would enjoy it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to play it because I haven't played these games, and that's a me thing. Because I would want to go back and play through all of them before I got to the new one, and that's a lot of game to get through to play the new one, you know. So I don't know.
The Sony doing a good job with games lately.
Yeah, really.
I mean,
some good work coming.
I would argue that Xbox 360 won the last generation, but PS4 is absolutely winning this generation of consoles by a wide.
I think I agree with both of those statements. They're pretty strongly, actually.
They got Naughty Dog and everything they're doing. This and Horizon Zero Dawn. They got a lot of great
Spider-Man game.
A lot of great, a lot of strong single-player games.
Yeah,
a lot of strong single-player games, which is important.
Yeah. Certainly now in the because when the consoles first came out, like Jesus Christ, if you want a single-player game, it was fucking remixes or go the fuck home or remasters rather.
Yeah.
I feel like the other heads of this thing should be helping. Spoiler alert: this is the Lemine Hydra.
I guess it's because you're not supposed to know it. Maybe I don't know.
I mean, yeah, but if you're fighting a giant snake in a Greek mythology game, it's like, oh man, I bet this thing has like 8 heads.
Yeah, if you know Greek mythology.
If you know Greek mythology, and this is also.
But if you're just sitting here with your shoes off and you got your bong in one hand and your body pillow in the other, and you're trying to get the, you might not know the.
There's something that also pissed me off about Marvel because they're like Hydra, the organization, like if you cut off one head, 2 more will appear, which is the Hydra's thing. But then their symbol is an octopus. And I'm like, that's not a Hydra at all. If anything, that's closer. That's closer to the Kraken. And
has it always been an octopus?
Yep.
Like even in the original, like.
Yep. I just think they were like, oh yeah, the Hydra, that's that octopus thing, right? Stan Lee was like, Excelsior! Put it on the page!
Well, they probably just like took a skull and then were like, it's supposed to be Hydra, Stan, and they're like, tentacles.
Yeah, but they could have had like the heads, because they're snake heads, they could have had those coming out of the skull.
Yeah, but I don't know, they would have been too tiny or something, I don't know. Stan ain't got time to be drawing all them heads all the time.
What was really funny is back in the 90s, Stan Lee wanted to get back in he had retired at that point, and he wanted to get back in the comic book writing. So they were like, well, what's really popular right now? And so he kind of came up with a character that would resonate with the comic reading audience at the time. So he made this. I think it was called like Ravager or something like that, or Reaver, and it's supposed to be the super hardcore like Punisher-esque anti-hero. But the way Stan Lee wrote the book, it was like Gadzooks! There's evil going on over there. I must get over there as quick as I can. Away! And he'd like run over there with his assault rifle. And he's like, I have to save those innocent people. And it was a really bizarre switch in tone.
That's a old dog new tricks thing, I think. There.
Yeah. Speaking about old dogs, Aaron, Why don't you talk to me a little bit about Call of Duty?
Oh, well, speaking of Sony and their amazing single-player games, Activision have dropped the ball a little bit.
No.
Yes, you
How
are
are they dropping the ball a little bit?
Well, apparently,
those are arrows.
the next Call of Duty, Black Ops 4,
Jesus Christ.
is dropping the single-player story. So
Good. That means I don't have any excuse to buy it.
Yeah, really, though. That was my first thought, too. It was like, well, guess I don't have to pay money for that.
Supposedly due to time restrictions, which I thought was why they hired multiple studios to have 3 years to make a game.
But they're artificially made. They made the time restrictions. They're like, we got to put this out every year, and now they're like, oh shit, we got to make it in.
I was saying, like, if there's no single player story and you're like literally telling us that you didn't have time to make the game, then just don't release one
I
this
like
year.
in the future that Call of Duty becomes like such a big hit that every video game studio, I mean everyone, like is involved in making Call of Duty games. They still can't get the games out like fast enough. It's like, all right, so this game is being made by Telltale and Devolver Digital and Nintendo and Bandai Namco, and we still can't get it out the door. It's like the most like bizarre like video game ever. Just like all these people working on this game. It's like we can't get it out the door quick enough.
And there's a lot of stuff to complain about Ubisoft, that they've done, but when they got to Assassin's Creed and they're like, we don't need to have another one this year, then they just didn't do it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Pay attention.
I feel like they could hit him from this angle.
So,
oh, you assholes!
I don't know.
I totally agree with you.
It seems like I think I'm not sure. Like a lot of the articles that I read about this made it seem like Activision don't know what to do with the storyline. So I don't even know what the setting is going to be. I guess it's like Black Ops has evolved from just Vietnam at this point, hasn't it? Wasn't Black Ops 3 like in the future or something?
Well, Black Ops 2 is in the near future.
Yeah, so it's like, what the hell is Black Ops 4? Like, I don't know.
I want Black Ops 4 to be the hardest sci-fi you've ever seen. Like, it'll make, like, 2001 look like Star Wars in comparison. Like,
so here's...
Just run, they're not going to be able to hit you.
Like, there's a... So if you're just going to be a multiplayer game, the conversation on your demographic actually does change dramatically, even with something like Call of Duty. Whose single-player offerings have been a little lackluster in recent years, we'll say.
Yeah, and I mean, it worked for Titanfall, new IP, new studio. I mean, I know they worked on Call of Duty games in the past. Yeah, it was a new concept for the time. I don't think that's not gonna translate well for an established IP.
Well, and plus, like, if you're talking about competitive multiplayer shooters, think of who your competition is, and think of how little a chance you stand as Call of Duty.
Especially as, like, something that you want people to get, like, hard into esports, if it were to be, like, an esports candidate. Exactly. This is a franchise that has a new game every year, so it's like, there's not really... You're not really going to be able to build an established audience playing this.
And haul all them down.
No, so I don't know. I guess maybe that's what they're going to try to go for, is the esports thing. In which case they're kind of in the wrong business, I think.
If they stick with the multiplayer that they've had for 15 years, then I don't think it's really going to go anywhere. They need to, if they're not going to do a single player story, then they needed to have focused their time on building the multiplayer into something more akin to Destiny. Like, I'm not a huge Destiny fan, but if you could go more in that direction, it would definitely help the team deathmatch. That's
probably a better, because certainly you're not going to enter the realm of things like CS:GO, or on the other side of it, things like Paladins and Overwatch.
Yeah.
Like, it's not...
Battleborn, don't forget Battleborn.
Oh, Christ.
It was fun. Battleborn was fun.
Battleborn had its positives.
It was missing a lot.
It had the world's shittiest release date. Let's face it.
When did it come out?
Right before. Right before Overwatch.
Can I just point out? I like the idea of they're like, Kratos, we need to get up there and destroy the archers, and Kratos is like, if only I had Jesus Christ, if only I had some sort of weapon that I could throw up there, and then with some sort of chain attached to it that I could haul them down, or even haul myself up using the chain. I guess I'll have to use this box.
Can you climb the wall with the knives?
No, I don't have that power yet.
Oh.
That's a power.
But, hopefully... I agree with you. I hope they go in the Destiny direction. Please don't try to be, like, Overwatch or something.
Can you imagine Call of Duty is attempting to like, oh man, Destiny's doing so well, we gotta capitalize on it. It's like, it's your game!
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where this goes. I agree with you guys though. I like this better because it
He just asked him to move.
It's almost like Activision has stopped buying their own bullshit. It's almost like they realize now what we've realized, which is that Call of Duty is trash, and now they know it, and they're like, why do a story for this? We got Kit Harington's busy, you know, he's got stuff to do, Jon Snow and whatnot.
Yeah.
Man, they couldn't get Lewis Hamilton again for some reason.
Who's Lewis Hamilton?
He's a driver.
Oh yeah.
So
like your quartermaster in the Advanced Warfare for some reason.
Yeah.
I guess because he's a fan of Call of Duty. I don't know.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Morrowind on Xbox One X.
Sure. So the whole backwards
Xbox
compatibility thing, you know how that's going on Xbox?
That's right. Which good on them.
Yeah. No, it's great.
By the way.
So you can, among other things, a big one of which is Red Dead Redemption, which runs and plays better now on Xbox One X at least. Morrowind is another one. So you've got.
I like the idea is like, okay, we can finally run Morrowind. It's like, you could run Morrowind before.
Morrowind was notorious for running like crap
Yes.
on the original Xbox. Now it's, strangely, the original
They just give
Xbox...
birth to another guy.
The original Xbox release of Morrowind
like
had
Russian
an
doll,
uncapped
like-
frame rate.
There's
Yes,
another
that's
man
true.
in there.
It's now running at 60 FPS.
Uh-huh.
And...
Just as it was always meant to.
And, well, it's... I was going to say native 4K. It's 4K resolution, but it's still 4:3.
Yeah. The
So if you've been waiting like 20 years to play Morrowind, now is your shot.
So Andrew, there are a lot of people out there. So we're primarily on this channel. We primarily play PC games, right? In our own time, not necessarily in the videos we make, but on our own time. So
well, I mean, yeah, a lot of our videos lately have been on PC though as well.
That's true, actually.
Even though this was a PS2 exclusive, this is also on PC.
Well,
because of emulators.
Yeah.
there are a lot of people out there right now, Andrew, that you know, maybe they don't have like gaming PCs. They have like capable machines of some kind, whether a desktop or laptop variety, right? But they're not really into the PC gaming as such. All of those machines can run Morrowind already with mods.
Yes.
Why don't you explain to me, because I don't know, the demographic for Morrowind on the Xbox One X?
Because
the Xbox One
Phil
X.
Spencer got to get more Battletoad shirts.
This is a massive
All right.
mast. Jesus Christ.
Because everybody who isn't Phil Spencer, who owns an Xbox One X,
Yep.
was negative 14 when Morrowind came out. So...
I gotta be honest with you. I want Xbox, instead of all this backwards compatibility shit, I want more connectivity with my Zune.
Yeah, where does Zune at?
I think that's exactly the people this is for, Rory. People that have never played Morrowind and have only ever played Elder Scrolls on Xbox.
Okay.
Now they can buy Morrowind on the Xbox Live Marketplace.
That's going to be a disappointment, though, I think. Because if you go, oh
Yeah.
man, this is like Skyrim,
Skyrim,
but
yeah.
it's like the prequel to Skyrim, yeah, and you play and you're like, oh.
And then they're role-playing.
None of this is voiced, the animation is not great. And
Wait, the
quests
Elder
are like,
Scrolls 5
really?
Skyrim isn't the first game?
Yeah.
Well, you just like Elder Scrolls 0 or Skyrim 0.
I agree. I mean, and like, I mean, this is strictly an inclusive move. So in principle, I'm happy about it because more people get to play Morrowind. That's strictly a better thing. Mm-hmm. But I think I agree with Aaron. I think it's gonna hit not home with those people.
I mean, at the very least,
think
I
we
guess
gotta
it's
do a cheeky bit of...
I guess it's good that
with
this is
Kraken
like
down there.
an official release of it. You know,
What's he
like
holding
Yeah.
onto the rope with?
it will run a certain
Nice.
way, and it's like that's how it's intended to work, rather than
Yes.
running a new version of Morrowind on a PC and probably having to mod it or frig around with it a little bit to get
That's
it to run
true.
properly. So
I mean, it's a good point. And if you want to have the like more plug and play style of Morrowind, at least you will get that. You'll get it at 60 FPS.
Yeah.
That's nice to hear. But I'm still kind of
Making
Surprise.
kind of an older, maybe harder to get going RPG, more accessible to more people.
So this next topic is just
is that
After
only
ship.
on Xbox One X? Or is it also available on regular Xbox?
Regular Xbox One.
I don't know. I will say a lot of these
powerful
things seem to be only for the Xbox One X.
Well, that's shitty.
But I know Red Dead Redemption, its upgrades are only for Xbox One X.
Why?
I don't know if Morrowind is the same. So
Wait.
I can't see why Morrowind would be longer.
Well, I don't even need the upgrades. Just release the the backwards compatibility for those games anyway.
Here's the
Well,
thing.
you can play Red Dead Redemption on a normal Xbox One.
It is backwards compatible.
But the upgrades, like the
it's
the
Zora
better
from
resolution and stuff, is only for
Power Rangers.
That's dumb.
Here's the
though.
thing, Andrew. Now, we've just talked about a couple things we didn't know.
Yep.
Right? We're not sure of a couple things, but there's a lot of things we do know. I just want to say that.
How the fuck
Do
did
you
I get
know
in here?
anybody, one person, who's getting an Xbox One X? No.
No, just kidding.
Not even Aaron has that much money to blow.
The next thing I wanted to mention, I just wanted to. This is mostly for Andrew.
Who was Surtur in Ragnarok?
Clancy Brown.
Yeah, that's who that looked like. He had his
yeah,
eyes
a
were
little
far
bit.
apart.
Yeah, I can accept that. Now, this is for Andrew mostly, because I'm guessing he's the only other person who's seen it, unless you guys saw it for some reason. I've seen it many times over. The classic science fiction film Lost in Space
yes,
with
Matt LeBlanc.
Joey from Friends.
Matt LeBlanc, yeah.
uh,
Top Gear now.
It wasn't. I mean, that was a terrible movie.
that was a great movie, Adam.
I think that was when right around the time that Gary Oldman was considering firing his agent, because I think it was shortly before or after that he was in Quest for Camelot.
But he does an amazing job in that movie, though.
Oh, here's why Gary Oldman is the best actor in Hollywood, bar down. Because Gary Oldman, even if you were to cast Gary Oldman in Transformers, and please don't.
This is a video.
But
Seamless.
but if you were to cast Gary Oldman in Transformers, he would do an amazing job because he will never phone it in, because acting is his passion and job.
Yeah.
And even if it's in the worst film he's ever heard of in his life, he was still going to give it his all.
Yeah.
And that's why Gary Oldman is the best actor, because I've never seen him not turn in the best possible performance he can give.
I agree. And I also, to a certain extent, agree with what you said. Lost in Space is not really a milestone science fiction film, but it's a film a lot of us have seen if you're, born in the 90s.
Yeah.
Also, it was a show in, the 60s as well.
But if
Danger, Will
you have to be
Robinson.
really,
Was Robin the Robot in the 1990 movie or whatever?
Yes, he was a shitty
Look him up.
robot.
So, there's now a Lost in Space television show on Netflix.
I haven't seen it.
Neither have I.
I've heard it's good.
I've just started. I'm 5 minutes in. I've just
You need to
started.
come up with a new term. Because,
Sorry.
this show will never be on television. Network television.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So why is it still, TV shows, Even network, internet exclusive shows on Amazon, some people still, in the shows, refer to them as television shows, even though this will only ever be on the internet. So we need a new term or something. I don't know.
That's interesting, actually.
Anyway.
But yeah. So
have you seen
I
it?
have not. I've just started it. I hope it's really good. I just thought it was funny that what?
You said you just started it, but you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't. I've seen 5 minutes of it, so I haven't. For all intents and purposes, I haven't seen it.
So you saw the opening credits, basically.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Basically, I saw the first scene, the expository scene where we get the setting.
Sweet. Okay.
So
not suppository.
I hope it's good. I think it's hilarious that they decided to make a brand new Lost in Space TV series. Hope it's good. It doesn't have Joey from Friends.
Dang.
So
he's all tied up with that Top Gear nonsense.
Yeah,
He's making
exactly.
Top Gear money now. He doesn't need Lost in Space.
Those BBC monies.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what I'm gonna say about that. But Shenmue. On a related note.
By the way, just about that new Lost in Space show. So they made Robbie the Robot. I don't know if you've seen his design yet. But
I have.
It's pretty futuristic. I'm not 100% sure how I like it. I like to see it in show.
In action, yeah.
just to see how I feel about it. But it's certainly unique, and that's kind of what the first robot had going. The original Robbie the Robot had going for.
Is a Robbie short for robot?
No, it's Robbie the Robot is his name. Can
you have sex with this?
No.
Oh, okay.
You can only fuck him.
Oh yeah, I remember this thing now. Apparently, people have been tweeting at Netflix saying my mom finds this robot really attractive looking, and it doesn't look. It's not attractive looking at all. It's like if C-3PO had a TV for a face, kind of.
It sounds like his mom's got some issues.
Yeah, and it's just different stuff like that.
Fuck off, Steve Jobs.
Man, what happened, man? Like, what? Who are these people? Fucking anime fans, man. They're out of control. They're watching everything now.
You get to fight like chimeras and stuff in this game. I can't remember.
I don't know.
I thought you read the wiki.
Chimeras specifically.
Do you get to fight manticores, minotaurs?
You get
centaurs?
to fight a bunch of different things.
Oh, that's what that thing is.
What?
The Robbie the Robot. I saw it in the trailer that they had on Netflix.
Oh,
I thought it was like an alien or something.
Oh,
no,
basically like Securitrons from Fallout. That's what they're.
Mm-hmm. Well, dude, that's what the original ones look like.
Yeah.
And in fact, I would if they're not based on Robbie the Robot, then that's just a massive coincidence.
Yeah.
He's one of the most iconic robots, though. Like, everyone's at least seen him.
Oh, you're an asshole.
What, the anal beads one? That one?
Yeah.
He had, like, turbo ball legs.
So, I'm looking forward to watching the show, because, I mean, Lost in Space.
Yeah, I might watch this one as well.
Landmark science fiction series with a terrible movie in the 90s.
Are you also looking forward to revisiting Shenmue?
No. You know what I did watch the other day? Or I watched the trailer for? The new Reboot. Have you seen the new Reboot trailer?
I haven't seen the new Reboot trailer.
It's awful.
Both me and Adam have a lot of, and maybe the other.
This one's live action, isn't it, or something? Is it live action?
Yep. It's Power Rangers.
I have a lot of love for Reboot.
Lyoko. I
have a lot of love for Reboot.
Yeah, we all do.
Right?
I come from the net.
It's one of my favorite shows.
Not anymore, is not. And
when I was doing my undergrad and we would talk on IRC, a bunch of us had Reboot names. Reboot-inspired IRC usernames. That's just a small little fun trivia fact about me for the biographers.
You were Dakin, weren't you?
Yes, I was Dakin, and still am to this day.
Okay.
It's one of my main screen names. I adore the show and its sub-films. And I desperately want justice done for the franchise.
They can do so much cool stuff with because think of how much computing has changed since the 90s.
Totally.
And they could have
Blender's got to be out of beta by now.
But I mean the Tron Legacy. What that movie should have been, which is like an exploration of how computing has changed. That's what Reboot could have been. Just new stuff like Bluetooth connectivity and wireless internet and all these cool new programs and stuff and actual sensible operating systems.
I mean, it'd be like,
and
warning.
Reboot was fun, man.
Yeah.
Warning, incoming Snapchat filter.
The thing, Reboot was always a lot of fun, and it had fun in the action, and it was technical, but just enough that it was it
didn't distract,
exploratory, but it didn't distract. Distract. That's perfect, actually. And I want them to make something that's fun again. But I'll mostly be interested to see how people who aren't Reboot fans react to this, because I am not a Power Rangers fan. But the Power Rangers film they made last year, I was like, hey, that was all right for what it was. But I only think that because I'm not a Power Rangers fan. Because I understand it. If you are a Power Rangers fan, that movie wasn't really a great Power Rangers movie.
Yeah. It's
opposite.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know about that, but this show doesn't look good anyway. I mean, despite the fact that it's Reboot, it's pissing all over Reboot. If this was just a random show, just like Code Masters or whatever the fuck you want to call it, or Hack Modems,
I was gonna.
This still wouldn't be a really.
I was thinking like
show.
Codemasters were rebooting.
You're thinking like Codemasters? Yeah, no.
They're making a game. Yeah.
And I don't know. It just looks fucking awful.
Mind you, for most people, this will be a random show.
Yeah.
Because who gives a fuck about Reboot that isn't sitting in this room?
But the only reason that they're using the Reboot name is to bring the fans in, because the fans are the only one that's going to care that it's Reboot. Nobody's, like average Joe Blow on the street is going to be like, oh man, Reboot. Watch that. But then they do something that's specifically to piss off the fans. Like, this is for nobody. It's so dumb. It'd be like being like, what's another obscure thing? It'd be like having a live action Digimon show.
Yeah.
But instead of about the actual Digimon, it's like a soap opera about these teenage kids' lives, and there's nothing to do with digital monsters.
Well, it's like what they did with Prey. Like,
yeah,
they rebooted it, and it's not about anything related to the context. So does this have the same characters in it, like Bob and stuff?
No, the only returning character, as far as I'm aware, is Megabyte.
So it is a continuation of the story.
Is it canon? No, it's not.
I don't give a damn what it is. It's not.
So is Megabyte CG?
Yeah.
So this reboot
takes great. It can't.
Here's the plot.
Look
Let me
bad.
just explain the plot. The plot is these kids go to high school and they all get enrolled in this special class. And when they get there, there's a special chamber that they get in, and it downloads their brains into the digital network, and they have to defend the computer realm from the evil mastermind. And the evil mastermind teams up with Megabyte in order to destroy.
I thought it was going to be Reboot, but from the perspective of reality.
No, man, it's Reboot, but from the perspective of we browsed the Assassin's Creed Wikipedia page, and this is what we came up with.
That would have been cool though. Like if they did a show that took place in the '90s and it was live action, and it was like the people, the people who own those computers. That would at least been more interesting.
Back in 2002 when it first came out.
Help me!
Yeah, you have to remember me and Adam were 10 when this game came out.
Yeah, and I played it when I was 10.
Y'all youngsters.
You were 12.
yeah, and I loved the hell out of this game.
I'm gonna turn my
This game was amazing.
So yeah, I'm really disappointed to hear that thing you said about Reboot, Adam. That it sucks.
Also, why is it not called Rebooted?
It's called Reboot the Guardian Code.
That's dumb.
And at no point did they say mend and defend my newfound friends, their hopes and dreams, defend them from my enemies.
If you're gonna make a classic live action 90s thing, do the Beetleborgs, man.
Yeah. No.
or literally anything else.
Yeah, or literally anything else.
It'd be like doing Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, but have it be live action where kids jack into Chip and Dale and have to control them.
They're big mechs. So dumb.
They're just giving them ideas at this point. I know, Netflix is usually pretty good when it comes to their own original content. At the very least, you can say that it's interesting.
Yeah,
this just looks awful.
Where's my Super Samurai Cyber Squad reboot?
But I mean, speaking of old things becoming new things, Aaron, are you looking forward to Shenmue 1 and 2?
I never played them.
Wow, that didn't go well.
So Avengers is coming out next week.
Shut the fuck up, Adam. Let's talk about Shenmue. It deserves it. It's been screwed over for too many years.
Has it? Is Shenmue good?
Yeah.
Andrew likes Shenmue. I never played them, but I saw Andrew play them, and they were interesting at the time. I just didn't get into it.
Yeah.
So.
Shenmue
Aaron pretty much hit the nail on the head. They're more interesting than good.
They're important.
Are they?
They're good to watch 20minute segments.
They're like how you say when something goes forward and does something trailblazing. Innovative. Yes, they're innovative.
Is that? I don't think that's trailblazing. But
probably not.
I think that's trailblazing is like you look at everything and go, fuck that, and then you turn around and go the other way.
No. That's kind of what Shenmue
you do your own
is,
thing.
But that's not really trail. I think trailblazing is going forward and doing something first.
Yeah, that's
but blazing a trail is doing that. So why isn't trailblazing doing that?
I don't think that's blazing a trail. I think you're wrong.
I don't know about that.
We'll leave it to the viewers to decide. Look it up, Thomas. So, I guess that's all we have to say about Shenmue. Other than that,
I like Shenmue, and the HD versions are coming to PC and other things near you.
If it's reasonably priced, I will probably get it.
I hope they address the controls.
I like that Kratos killed the Hydra, not because the Hydra was attacking the ship or that the Hydra was even a threat to Kratos, but it ate the dude that had the key to let him get in the door.
This is the entire point.
Yeah.
This is what Kratos does.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit. He does what Kratos wants to do.
I think the best description ever of Kratos was by Benyatsu Croshaw, where he said, "I really like Kratos as a character, but I don't think that he would like me. Mainly because I'm alive."
So...
Check out these sweet PS2 graphics.
Trailblazing and blazing a trail mean the same thing, and you are correct, Rory.
Okay, good. Okay.
To forge a path for others to follow.
Sure. Yeah. The
He's like the best parts of the '90s are rolled up into one. Gray goatee, edgy, killed a lot of people, dead wife.
So, Neill Blomkamp.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Directed
from Fallout 4?
A movie that I very much adore, District 9.
Christ.
I love that movie as well.
I think that's
pretty solid.
Yeah, I think it's in this group at least we like District 9.
I enjoyed his other works as well.
Oh, we're gonna have to censor
interesting
that.
perspective.
Oh yeah,
Andrew.
there are boobs in
Nah, that's fine.
Right.
The unfortunately, he didn't stop there.
Fuck off, old woman.
And I am not the biggest fan of his other works. Chappie is noticeably better than Elysium, in my opinion.
I like Chappie. I thought Chappie was a good film.
Chappie had good things about it.
You know what the best part
that
about
I like.
Chappie is?
I'll admit, no. I won't.
What is the best part of Chappie?
That like 20 PS4s can contain the human mind. You can copy someone's consciousness with 20 PS4s. Nice work.
I mean, it would take 25 Xbox One X's to do that.
Yeah. Take that at Microsoft.
I like the idea that Microsoft, like who's in charge of Xbox over at Microsoft.
Also, spoilers for Chappie, I guess.
Who's in charge of Xbox for Microsoft?
Yeah,
Phil Spencer.
I'm assuming Phil Spencer.
Phil Spencer runs out of the movie. He's like, get the tech guys on the horn right away. He's like, can 20 Xboxes contain the human mind? It's like, probably not. Well, PlayStation could.
This will be a great segue.
Build another one.
Phil's on the phone. Give me my agent. Cancel every single one of Neill Blomkamp's projects from now on.
No, it's just mad compression, man. It's a story about the one dude that paid for WinRAR. That's what you can do. That's what you can do with the compression.
Yeah, exactly. That's the ad.
Yeah.
For the WinRAR.
You copy it to the body. It's like they're there, but not all there.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's gone.
It's
lossy.
So, I will say one thing about Chappie that is at least worth noting.
The boobs were a lot better looking.
Is that if you are not from South Africa, Chappie would probably expose you to at least a couple things about South African culture that you didn't know.
Also, not safe for work, Thomas.
Sorry. Does this offend your sensibilities, Adam? Some guys having sex? Oh, God forbid.
This doesn't look like sex to me. This looks like a pot hopping on.
What are those? What are you doing with your dick?
Man, look at this vase. Where are the Lost in Space fans at? And they're going to try to fuck it.
Oh, man, what's all that? You obtained STD.
But Neill Blomkamp was they were crowdfunding a movie.
So, before that, we should say that Neill Blomkamp has his own studio now called Oats, which is a really interesting project that he's on the go because he wants to create a kind of like what Ninja Theory did with Sechuna's Sacrifice, Hellblade, where they're like, we want to make AAA level games, but on a much smaller budget and kind of away from the AAA kind of market. He said, I want to make film like blockbuster worthy films with those same levels of like visual effects and that sort of thing.
What the hell's he doing? He like grabs their heads and pulls them in.
I don't want to be tied to studio mandates. I want to give myself and the other directors I want to bring in for these projects total freedom, total creative freedom, so we can do what we want. So he was hoping, his mom was like, we hope that fans will come forward and say, like, here's money that we're giving you for this project because we're not expecting any returns for this. We just want to see this project get off the ground. Mm-hmm. I mean, like with most crowdfunding stuff, and I think it's a really interesting.
That's a very admirable filmmaking goal, in my opinion. And something he should be applauded for. I like Neill Blomkamp as a guy. I think he has great potential, and I think he's a genuine filmmaker who really cares about his projects.
He's also been screwed over a lot. He's kind of like the Guillermo del Toro, where he just can't just seem to catch a break when it comes to studio deals.
Yeah. although thankfully, of course, it's turned. Guillermo del Toro's luck has turned around recently.
Please make Mountains of Madness.
So Neill Blomkamp has been making short films, and
they're really good.
They are good. And
I recommend Zygote.
Because his movies keep getting canceled.
We wanted to crowdfund this new film.
It's a sequel to a short that he did called Firebase, and
I
would recommend. It's on YouTube for free. Go out and watch it. It's really good. He wanted to do like a long. I don't know if it would be continuation or a longer version of the short.
My impression was that it was a longer version. That was the goal.
Yeah.
What one was that one?
That's the one in Vietnam.
I don't know if I watched that one. Maybe I did.
I was hoping,
check it out.
I was actually hoping for a Zygote.
Thankfully, they didn't decide to do a Zygote movie.
Yeah.
Insofar as they're not going to do any of them.
Yeah. He didn't get funded, which I thought was strange. I thought that people would have funded that one.
Yeah, well, I mean, he didn't get as much as he wanted. He said he would, he didn't want... He would rather, over-deliver on a movie. I can't remember the last time Neill Blomkamp over-delivered on a movie. Rather than, under-deliver on a movie. And I agree with him. It's better to, if you want to do something, do it right. And I applaud the integrity that he didn't just take what he got and did a thing with it. It may seem like I'm just talking shit about Neill Blomkamp.
I think if you fail, depending on what crowdfunding platform you're using, I think if you fail to reach your goal, you don't get any of it.
That's true, but I know he wasn't using Kickstarter or any of the traditional crowdfunding. I think he was doing it through his own website, actually.
Was. Like Natascheme.net
intentionally, because he wanted to make sure all the money went to the movie.
It was Fuel Oats, I think, was the bit on the site.
Yeah.
And I think that might, I don't know if that was...
Fueled by Oats would have been better. Take note, Neil.
He did a video with Funhouse promoting it, but that's the only coverage I saw.
That's how you want to PR your movie. Funhouse.
I mean, Funhouse likes Neill Blomkamp.
Yeah,
and they're before, but they don't have a large audience.
They're not
Hunter would have been better.
And and even Funhouse's audience, I've got to imagine the overlay of Funhouse audience to cinema enthusiasts has got to be, that's not exactly a full overlap. No, right?
Even just something with Rooster Teeth, proper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
Particularly because other branches of Rooster Teeth have more cachet with that audience.
Particularly because they've done a lot of film work.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like indie film work, so it would have made sense.
Yeah. But yeah, so I am sad to hear that he didn't get to make his project in some ways, because I want Neill Blomkamp to make movies as good as District 9.
I get the sense that, I don't know what the problem was with Elysium. I think there was a plethora of problems. Some of them are definitely Neill Blomkamp's because he's the director. But I'd like to think that part of it was also kind of studio.
That's a legitimate possibility.
Because District 9, I don't want him to be because District 9 was good, and all of his shorts are really good. That
they are. Yeah.
So I'd like to think that if you give this guy freedom, that he's really good when it comes to that. But when you kind of expect
I don't think
he's not a Michael Bay where he can just be like, "Yep, here's the to-do list. I'll get it done."
I think Elysium and Chappie were on par with all of his other stuff, though.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't think they were bad movies. They were just maybe drawn out a bit too long. They maybe would have been better if they were 45 minutes long or something.
I came out of Chappie in District 9 thinking this is really good. I didn't come out of
crap. I just went in here. Why did I do that?
Well, I didn't come out of Elysium thinking that. I came out of Elysium thinking that was a bit of a disappointment.
For me, at the very least, Chappie feels like it carved its own distinct identity in... It's its own kind of science fiction movie. Yeah. And it at least feels like Neill Blomkamp made it.
Yeah.
Elysium doesn't feel like anybody in particular made it.
I think that's sort of his style. I don't know that it's necessarily telling a story from the super established world. It's what if this? And then he does a movie about that thing.
But I think that was a lot more noticeable in Chappie than it was in Elysium. Elysium, for me, felt... It didn't have a lot of personality.
Yeah, well, I mean, Chappie does, obviously, because it's all about, humanizing the robot, so obviously there's a lot of character there.
Sharkle Copley. Also, if you want to... If nothing else, Neill Blomkamp should be lauded for his discovery of Sharkle Copley.
And Sharkle Copley also... very good actor. Really, I would like to see him do
so cool.
other things other than what he's been doing. Like, Powers is Powers.
Has anyone seen Hardcore Henry?
I have, yes.
Oh, okay. Was that dog shit?
It's definitely worth watching.
Oh, okay.
Whether you think it's trash or not, it's worth at least discovering whether you think it's trash or not.
Would it be better to watch that in VR?
I can't see that being the case.
Might do it anyway.
Fair. But, like, Powers is Powers. The American remake of Oldboy is... No. He does a fine job in all of these, but I would like to see him do something where other people were doing a fine job, as well.
Was this the first game that had, like, glory kills?
I would... Depending on what your definition is, I would say no because of Mortal Kombat.
No, I mean, like, the first, like, non-fighting game that had glory kill, like, kind of like gory finishing moves. Because that's definitely something the fighting games came out with, but I feel like now, like, shooters and action games...
a lot more of them have it, yeah. I'm
just wondering, is it the first non-fighting
game? I'm thinking about that. Andrew?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I don't know what is, but this isn't.
It's probably, like, Rogue or something. Rogue.
Yeah, Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
We should do Rogue Squadron as a podcast episode someday.
Could do.
So, we were talking.
The best part about Andrew playing, by the way, is we don't have to be like, "Hey, Rory, do you like?"
Oh, I didn't even put this on there. That's cool.
Do you like?
Hey. Do you like
diseases destroying
directors
New York?
with last names that begin with L?
So before,
I like that you guys are doing the impression of me, but it's nowhere near as good as it would be.
We got the genuine article here,
Hey, Rory.
Hey, Andrew.
Do you like The Division?
No, but it's not because I dislike it. It's because I would never play it. It's so not my type of game, it's hilarious.
What is he doing?
But...
You don't like shooters, Rory?
I like very specific...
Alright, let's crack this one open then.
Brands of shooters.
What do you look... What about The Division is wrong?
So, not wrong, not for me.
No, in your opinion.
Yeah.
What is it... What needs to be changed in order for you to be into it? Not that I'm criticizing your opinion.
No.
I'm curious why you don't like it.
Okay, so in terms of shooters, I'm not huge on third person.
Fair
right?
Enough, yeah.
I'm super not huge on cover systems. I'm aggressively against cover systems.
Or I don't like
and the multiplayer aspect throws me off. Just my personal taste. But
fair enough.
But The Division is coming out with a movie, and I do like movies.
Mm-hmm. Hey, do you like David Leitch?
Yes.
Leitch?
Yeah, he's good. Deadpool fame.
Deadpool. He directed both of them?
Or
just the second one? Or directing the second one?
It's both of them, I think. Okay. I'm gonna double check it, because because I'll be upset if I fuck this up.
Apparently, Jake Gyllenhaal and Jessica Chastain are tied to the...
That is correct. Jake Gyllenhaal and Jessica Chastain. Who are both terrific.
I like Jessica Chastain, and I like The Division. It has problems, but I like the gameplay. It's a fun shooter. So just for screwing around, shooting stuff is fun. So I'm interested in this movie. It's probably going to be dog shit, but it supposedly has a good director tied to it, and I like the cast.
Didn't do the first Deadpool.
Didn't do it? Okay.
I am sorry.
Was wrong.
For that screw up. That's really unfortunate. He was one of the directors on the first John Wick, which is a very good movie.
Okay. Well, I mean, The Division is supposedly be a shooter, so
yeah.
A lot of action in this movie as well.
So I guess I'll have to see Deadpool 2 before I decide whether I like him or not. Because now I'm not sure. But he is. I mean, credit to him. Deadpool 2, is a this year movie, and he's already got The Division lined up.
I think that's been ongoing for a while. I don't know how recently he's been attached as director.
This is just recent, the director, but the movie has been ongoing for a while.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope it's good. We keep getting these video game movies, and they're always ass. So
the new Tomb Raider, not bad. The Tomb Raider's not bad.
Have you given like your full thoughts on that?
I guess I haven't. So
I
might as well. So
Tomb Raider.
If you like National Treasure, you'll like the new Tomb Raider.
And if you like Tomb Raider,
it depends on what kind of Tomb Raider you like.
Is there supernatural stuff in this Tomb Raider movie?
You bet you.
What was that?
I thought there weren't.
You bet you.
There are.
I mean, that's probably.
That's definitely yours.
Do you mean like the zombies?
Why is you coming out of that?
Or do you mean are there like creatures and stuff? I don't mean humans that turn into creatures. I mean ancient creatures that...
There are ancient creatures.
Okay.
You could say.
Like in the 2013 version? Like the...
Kinda.
Okay.
So it
I
has
heard
a
there
lot
were
of...
just like... It was basically Uncharted 1, where they unlock something and everyone starts turning into zombie mutants.
Okay,
right?
So...
So yeah.
So this review has spoilers now.
Spoilers possibly.
Up until the end, You're assuming that the creatures are supernatural, and then they kind of explain it away.
Oh.
So that was... So I had to tell you there were supernatural creatures. I had to lie to you for the sake of something which is now irrelevant.
You had to lie to make the movie better. It seemed better than it is.
No, I had to lie because that's how they pitched. That's how it's pitched for the entirety of the movie.
Oh.
And so...
So it's just Uncharted.
It's basically Uncharted. It has a lot of similarities to the 2013 game, but it does not have the mood of the 2013 game. It has the mood of an old-school Tomb Raider game. It's more about the adventure than it is... It's not trying to scare you or thrill you like the newer games are. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have, like, the emotional weight. So if you like National Treasure, but you also like old-school Lara Croft games, you might like this movie, I think. I think that's the demographic.
How's Alicia? Does she pull off the
Perfect,
modern
flawless. Flawless.
Okay.
Yeah,
how's the wardrobe seemed really dog shit.
The wardrobe goes really well with the movie, and especially with the color palette of the movie.
And the effects?
The effects are solid.
Okay.
Is there a point where somebody knocks on her door and her house is destroyed, and she just goes, "I woke up this morning and I just hated everything"? Like
that was a funny scene. I like that. It wasn't meant to be serious. She was making a joke after she just killed.
You don't see your house in the first one, Adam. Jesus, there's no manor in the first game.
There is actually.
But I mean, let's not kid ourselves here. The movie's not incredible. All right, like it's a fine movie.
Is it better than 1998 Lost in Space?
Definitely not.
Is that
in my
98?
opinion.
Jesus Christ.
But you have to bear in mind, it's like Lost in Space. It's like I was a kid, it's on DVD. It's exciting,
Kratos?
But yeah, so that was
a bit of Jesus.
So that to your point though, Aaron, you have you are right. Largely, video game movies have not had a high success rate, but in my opinion, that's due to the incompetence of the people making them. Pirates of the Caribbean is about a fucking theme park ride, and that's cool. You can make a movie about anything.
Yeah, but exactly. There's nothing to base it on.
By the way, if you look into the history of the original Pirates movie, there's some interesting stuff there. Like they didn't want Johnny. They wanted the Jack Sparrow's Johnny Depp to be like an Errol Flynn character, just a traditional like handsome swashbuckler.
Nice boobs.
They did not want him to be Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
And like Disney executives, was it who was the guy head of Disney? Schumacher? No, not Schumacher. Whatever. Who was in charge of Disney at the time was being like, please get him the change. Like apparently they were calling up Johnny Depp, but in early in the morning, being like, can you not be this character? Can you just be Errol Flynn? And he kept being like, no. And eventually it came out, and that's the thing that made the Pirates movies.
Well, I agree. I would say I agree with Jason, who's the English actor. He's in Star Trek Discovery. He was the Elder Malfoy.
Oh, Jason Isaacs.
Jason Isaacs, yeah. I agree with Jason Isaacs that whether you like or hate Pirates of the Caribbean, its identity is entirely due to Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
And he deserves all the credit.
For the first one.
For the first one.
Yeah.
Well, I would say the same thing for at least the second. That its identity is... It's not a good film, but it's not being a generic action movie is entirely due to him.
Yeah. By the way, she should be dead. The amount of knives going in there. I'm not complaining because there's other video games I like to do the same thing where it's like you just got hit in the head with a buster sword the size of a bus. You should be fucking dead.
As far as games go, though, I think the Tomb Raider movies have probably done the best. I haven't seen Assassin's Creed or anything.
That's definitely true. I've seen Assassin's Creed.
Even like the Angelina Jolie movies weren't dog shit.
The first one was legitimately a good time.
On the scale to like, I can't even think of a good video game movie.
There aren't many, if any at all.
Well, I think we just named the best one.
Yeah,
Tomb Raider, and
on a scale to
Doom. You like Doom?
No. On a scale of Tomb Raider to Super Mario Bros. The movie, definitely Tomb Raider is definitely a Tomb Raider.
So.
Yeah. So, getting back to the Division movie, I think that might lend itself well to that because it has a lot of story. It has a big universe that it doesn't explore all of in that game, and obviously that's why they're making a second one because there's more stuff to get to. But I think if approached the right way, you could make a pretty solid action movie out of that.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
You said Rampage is supposed to be pretty good. That's good to hear.
I heard like it's not like it's not gonna win like anything, but
cool,
like somebody whose opinion on those kind of films I really respect, which is James Rolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerd, who's really into those kind of like monster movies.
Yeah.
He said it was a decent, like it was a decent movie. Like he said, if you're kind of just want like a
destruction porn.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I buy it.
The director is a Newfoundlander.
Yep.
Is he the guy he's directed The Rock before?
Yeah,
he did San Andreas.
He directed or San Andreas or whatever.
Yeah, he's responsible for The Rock knowing how to pronounce Newfoundland.
Yeah,
which is good.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we.
I don't know why they went with the story they're going with in Rampage, though. It doesn't make any sense to me. But whatever.
First off, Lizzie shouldn't be the bad guy. As they're presenting her in the trailer.
Well, in the game, they were humans that transformed into monsters.
Yeah.
But that's not at all this movie.
No.
They're like genetically modified animals or something.
Yeah. Hence why Lizzie is a crocodile.
Whatever's dumb.
And
I think there would have been a better
Ralph
dynamic there about
bat.
like the whole werewolf thing, where like people turn into these monsters and not know what's going on. You got like 3 of them, so you could do like some cool modern take on that. I don't know. I think there's a cool story there, but
like how fuck would it be if a werewolf was actually Godzilla? Like that'd be pretty bad.
How else are you gonna work the Rock into the plot, Adam?
And plus, that's the closest we're gonna get to an actual, Dragon Ball movie. Is if we have a guy who turned into a giant ape when the moon comes out.
Does that happen in Dragon Ball?
Yeah, that's what happens to Saiyans. The Saiyans see the full moon, they turn into.
Oh really?
They turn.
I thought they were vegetables though.
No. They're actually they're monkeys.
They're racist.
What is the name of the monkey? The mighty Ozaru? Yeah, the Ozaru is what that's called.
Didn't see that episode.
I'm gonna look it up.
So, Steven Spielberg.
Hey Rory.
Yes, Andrew.
Do you like Black Hawk?
So
yeah, it is the Ozaru.
The interesting thing about Black Hawk is that even though I quite like DC, I don't know shit about Black Hawk.
Please like tell me more about Black Hawk.
This is like a prequel. It's called like Black Hawk Up.
It's about the making of the helicopters. Like, one day, this helicopter will bring freedom all across the world. And then the movie ends with it like. It's like
Orlando Bloom flies out of it or
whatever.
Adam, you strike me as a man that knows quite a bit about Black Hawk. So can you tell me a little bit about it?
About that BBC DLC or whatever?
I don't know a lot about them. I do know that I think originally they were like. So back in the golden age of comic books during World War II, there was a bunch of and afterwards.
What are you doing?
People got kind of a little bit tired of superhero comics. So like, except for Superman and Batman, a lot of the other comic book heroes kind of started to wane in popularity. So a bunch of different types of comics were popular. So pirate comics and westerns and stuff. And one of the most popular was War. And I believe War, the Black Hawks were DC's kind of war comic. Along with like Sergeant Rock and the rest of them, they were just like another group, like a team of guys. And I think they were just like generally just like kind of like Hogan's Heroes were just World War II, like beating up Nazis kind of dudes. So
this is a movie or a show?
It's a movie.
Is it in the DC universe?
Who the fuck knows?
I haven't checked. Let's be real. We all doubt it, right?
Why this happened?
Yeah, I mean, we have
what?
We have no idea. Legitimately, I think.
Like I don't know. I don't know if anyone knows. Like
yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like it's not with the MCU stuff. You know, it's all one thing. With DC, it's like you don't know. It's not fair to assume anything.
Well, I mean, when it comes to
unless you're assuming that it's not going to be in the same universe.
Usually with the movies, it's pretty easy to assume, but there's always that sense of doubt.
By the way,
how many movies have they had?
They're not World War II fighters. They're like soldiers. They're World War II fighter pilots.
How many DC EU?
Let's just say DC film universe.
How many DC movies have come out that are all in the same universe?
5.
5.
Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, and Justice League. Right?
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting Suicide Squad is in with that universe because it's such a tonal shift from all the other movies.
Very big tonal shift.
So I would assume then that this is in the same thing, except I don't.
That would be my assumption as well.
Of all the DC superheroes, I have never heard of Black Hawk.
It's obscure. It's definitely obscure. Like
even like I'm a big comic book guy. Even I don't I had to look up what they were on. The only reason I know them is because they were in the original Justice League 2000s cartoon, which is excellent. They were in that in a alternate reality. Superheroes go back in time to fight World War Nazis episode, and there was a remake comic that came out back in 2011 during the New 52 stuff.
I feel like DC are rushing it again.
Do you think?
Well, it's like they see Marvel, and Marvel finally gets to the point where they can put out Ant-Man, and it's not bad, and everyone's like, "All right, that was okay. That was okay. Decent movie."
I have a revision on the story. So I had been sucked in by headlines. Spielberg is producing, potentially directing, but he has not signed that paper yet.
I was gonna say because he just finished Ready Player One.
Yeah. David Coep is writing. David Coep, you might know from writing Jurassic Park or Mordecai. We'll see how much. He's an up and down guy, that David Coep. And
I wonder because Mordecai could have actually been a funny movie had it not been straddled with Johnny Depp, and like if you put like a better, because there were funny parts of that movie. I feel like a different personality might have made that movie bearable.
Well. Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. It's so hard to tell because the movie is so trash. It will be interesting. I do hope this is in the same universe because the DC television stuff, if you don't know what's happening, can seem kind of confusing. We don't really need to confuse the films as well.
Because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, all of the DC shows take place in the same universe except for Gotham and potentially Supergirl.
Not potentially. Supergirl's the same universe.
Oh, is it? So it's only Gotham.
It's only Gotham, and which isn't so confusing because if you watch Gotham, it's just a different time period.
Yeah.
It's not even. You wouldn't even think it would be in the same universe. But yes, that is right. They are they are encompassed in that.
Also, it's funny that because from my understanding, Arrow and Flash and Supergirl and even the Legends of Tomorrow, they're all apparently really good.
So I haven't gotten into Legends of Tomorrow yet. I've seen the others. They're definitely good at what they do.
I feel like they're like this generation's like Angel and Buffy, where it's like that just kind of like fun adventure kind of TV show that's. A lot of people would say like, "Oh, this isn't good television," but actually has a very large.
Yeah, it's fun, and certainly Arrow's declining the quality now because it's getting in that Lifetime season 7.
Oh well, yeah.
But it started out seasons 1 and 2 of Arrow are terrific, and Supergirl is still in its good phase.
And I'm glad Supergirl's doing well because
that looked trash when the trailer came out.
It looked trash,
didn't it?
But also, like, it's nice to be able to point to
shopping montage.
Examples of female superheroes doing well in media. First we had Wonder Woman, and now we have Supergirl.
Yeah.
Or Supergirl first and then Wonder Woman.
Technically you're right. But I know, I totally get what you're saying.
And Marvel's not coming out with their first female superhero solo movie till next year.
But Marvel's done female TV shows like Agent Carter.
Yes.
And Jessica Jones.
Agent Carter, Jessica Jones. You could argue that the main character of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a female.
It is. The main character of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is female. Coulson identifies as female.
Womp womp. So one of the things I just wanted to mention, because I wanted to run it by you guys.
No.
There was there's as
the answer is no.
You're aware there's a what do you call those games? Crossover fighting game coming out with the characters from Ruby and they've got characters from Blaze Blue, characters from Persona. And characters from Under Night, and they're all gonna be together. Yeah, really.
I've absolutely heard of that.
This is that big black cock turbo boner DLC pricing.
They're gonna be coming out with a fighting game.
Kratos, Jesus
and
Christ.
we'll do a special on this channel in it just because I'll have it and might as well.
Gotta do more anime videos. So Ruby's in this.
Yeah, Ruby and
it's a good thing that landed
the four characters from Ruby are in it.
Does Blaze Blue normally have multiple character skins? Is that a thing?
There's usually a couple, yeah. Okay. Definitely.
I'm just wondering if it's like one arm Yang or not.
I don't know.
I hope it's one arm Yang.
It'd be cool if it was an all skin, right?
Wait, I should totally know. There's gameplay video of Yang that was just released.
Wait, does Yang only have one arm?
Yeah, at the end of season 3, she gets her arm chopped off by Adam.
Who the hell is Yang?
Yang is the blonde-haired woman.
That would be Barbara from Rooster Teeth.
You should Medusa the Medusas.
Oh right.
So they're gonna release this game, and so some of the roster is gonna be a DLC, and some of it's gonna be.
But it does though. That's like the whole myth is that Perseus with the shield. He shines the shield up really shiny, and then the Medusa looks at herself. She's like, "Oh fuck!" And then she freezes, and he's able to lop her head off, and then use it to beat the Kraken in that movie. Except it doesn't happen in the original myth. He just kills her in the original myth. What?
She's never seen her own reflection.
No, because
so I feel like there should just be like hard cut to Medusa, and then she like looks in her reflection, like, "Oh shit." And just like by herself, nobody's ever come there, nobody knows who she is.
Just like there's like mascara bottle in her hand.
So some of the characters here are going to be DLC, right? And some of them are just going to come with the base game, right? Some of that DLC is free. Some of it is $5.
It's regular Yang, season 1 Yang.
So you can get
get a cool duster.
You can get just the base game for I think it's $49.
Okay.
All right, like
$49 American or $49 Canadian.
$49 American dollars, I believe it is. I actually took a screenshot of it so I could have the exact price for you. So so the base game $49.99, $50, right? It's $50 American dollars, right? You can get the complete DLC bundle with that for $20, right? Yeah. So what you're totaling here is $70 US if you need the full game.
Yeah, which is going to be a $90 game.
Yeah, do they always translate it like that though? Because aren't most games now $70 US? But are they $90 Canadian dollars? I haven't bought a new game in about 1,000 years.
No, I just bought God of War and it was $80.
Okay, so it'll probably be that.
Yeah,
because that's a $70.
Whatever
US
happened
game.
to $50 PC games?
Yeah,
man?
really though.
Yeah.
Jurassic World Evo is going to be $50 when it comes out. That's the only fucking game that I can think of now and in recent history that was $50 on PC.
Well, I mean, what happened was, before they even knew what they had, they patented it.
So good job on Frontier.
And before they knew what they were...
They put up a parking lot. Good
song reference.
Thank you. Fun fact, just a bit of lore about that song. I totally misunderstood.
Stop calling it trivial lore. Call everything lore. Like Rory's getting up to do his vows. He's like, interesting lore about these vows. I love you, dear.
So, when that song
sucks.
I was a kid when I heard that song, and I totally misunderstood the meaning.
$50 PC games?
I always thought he was saying put up a fucking lot. And then it's like,
isn't Atlantic more
all right.
I'm down with that.
No, there's the other version. There's the Alanis Morissette version, but there's the other version, which is like, I don't know, Bon Jovi or some shit.
The Hairy Armpits mix?
It's probably not Bon Jovi, but it's some dude, right? But anyway, so I missed the part where they paved paradise, but I heard the part where they put up a parking lot. Bop, 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 bop. And I was like,
what are you talking about? What song is that?
You don't know that song?
No, I don't. Tell me the artist and the name of the song.
Alanis Morissette, they paved paradise. I guarantee
it's
if you type in you pave paradise, you put up a parking lot, you'll get that song.
So what the song is about, Aaron, is that they pave paradise and put up a parking lot.
Stop saying that.
Interesting lore.
It's like against this thing where we're like tearing down trees and shit to like put Shoppers Drug Marts and shit.
Joni Mitchell, Big Yellow Taxi.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Counting Crows.
Counting Crows is the
Vanessa
cover.
Carlton.
And so anyways, but since the only part I heard was the part where they put up a parking lot and they seemed excited about it, I thought it was like the community was getting together to do like a team project. Like, hey, everybody, we're all going to get together and build a parking lot. It's going to be a good time. But anyways, unrelated to that, So this is a $70 US game.
Wait. Was your interesting lore about this song actually interesting lore about you?
$70 US.
$70. Yeah, it's a $70 game. Yeah, US.
Yeah, but that's like $90.
But do they get converted like that directly? Because aren't most games $70 US, but they end up being like $80 Canadian?
Most games are 60.
You look at a game on Steam, it's usually like 69 or 79, I guess in some cases, depending.
But that's Canadian.
Why did I do?
Yes, Canadian.
So
pricing.
it's so they convert that from a separate American price. They don't just charge some.
Yeah, but sometimes they do charge more on Canadian Steam than American Steam. It's not the same price, but just they put Canadian behind it.
So you're saying that there's a different pricing?
A $20 US game on American Steam is probably $25 or $30 on Canadian Steam.
Okay, yeah. So it's not just a direct conversion. Okay, so it's a $70.
In some cases, it might be.
This is a $70 US game, right? Which is potentially, $10 more US, we'll say, than the average.
What's the name of it? What's it called?
The Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. The name is dumb.
Glad we mentioned what it is like 20 minutes into this discussion.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I love when these guys like. He just flings them off
a lot of momentum going on there.
Blaze Blue. That's not what that is. What is it called?
Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle.
There's a lot of C's.
What?
He's saying when he typed it in, it autocomplete.
There's BlazBlue, Calamity Trigger, Continuum Extend, Chrono Phantasm.
Yeah, they all, in Central Fiction, they all begin with C, all
Collection,
the BlazBlue games.
Central Fiction again, Playable Character Pack, and Continuum Shift Extend Japanese Voice Pack.
What are you looking up?
There's no Turbo Team Battle or whatever you said.
Are you looking up on Steam?
I searched on Steam, yeah.
Well, it's not out yet.
It's not even listed on Steam yet?
No, it's not listed on Steam yet. And so anyway, so this is a little more expensive than your average game, right? But I would say less expensive than a game where, in general, you buy the full game and then you buy additional DLC.
Yes.
So...
Well, I mean, if you want to compare, Destiny was, for us... I bought Destiny at $80, and then within a month I'd already spent an additional $20 on it, and by the end of its run I'd spent probably close to $180 for that game.
So what's the difference then with a game that comes out with DLC immediately, or whatever you're talking about, or a season pass?
So... Here's, like, kind of what I'm putting to the floor. How do you guys feel about this model whereby they're going to do the $50 for the base game, which is, like, let's say cheaper than the average first game release, but then do more DLC, then add on the DLC after? Would you just rather they just sold the game as one? Like, what is this business model like to you where they sell, like, part of the game and you know the DLC is ready and it's sitting there?
Well, I've been liquid on this since the beginning of this discussion. It depends on number one, if the developer's trustworthy, because then you know.
Liquid on this?
Well, I'm not like one way or the other.
He's not solid on either side. Yeah.
I'm been Liquid Snake about this, or Snake Liquid or whatever it's called. If the developer is trustworthy, at least then you can take their word for it, or at least a developer that you have, you've dealt with in the past, maybe their customer service or whatever. And so you know that the content that's coming out for the game was in fact made after the game came out.
Hurry up there.
Or maybe in the other case where the content's already made and was made in tandem with the actual game and is already included on the disc or in the initial download, and then they charge you for it later. That's a separate issue. So like, I'm totally fine with a game coming out, charging me $70, $80, whatever a game costs now if I'm into it, and then releasing content down the line that's either paid for, like Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn's a great example.
I think I bought the collector's edition of that because I just pulled the trigger and said, fuck it, I'm going to get into this game. And it worked out in that case because that game was amazing. And then, you get a year's... the game was out for about a year, almost. 8 months, maybe. And I think it was worth it. It was about 70 hours of gameplay for me to 100% everything. And then they came out with like a $20 DLC pack, which I think is totally fine, because it was another 30 hours of gameplay to finish that. And, so it's a big open area, a lot of new quests. Yeah, women don't have a shirt in this universe, I guess.
It's Grease.
Kratos doesn't have a shirt either.
Greasy. They all did.
No, but what I'm saying is, if you can just see your boobs just as easily.
Oh, she had a shirt on.
Yeah, like why even bother? Like, all it's doing is getting your chest.
She's like Kristen Lehman and.
It's supposed to be
dead Netflix show.
Erotic.
Anyway, it would be more erotic. It was completely uncovered.
I would be. I think the ideal model is, maybe. I don't know. It gets into a gray area. I really like how Frontier have dealt with it with Elite, because that's a big project. That's content that's going to last for years, and they've kind of done. Recently, it's been almost 3 years since they charged for any content, any like actual expanded content, and everything else has just been cosmetic.
Yeah.
So. I mean, it seems like a lot of stuff is going more in that direction, and I'm totally fine with that in some cases. Like, again, I'm fluid. It works in the Division because they're not asking for money at every single corner, and it's not like buy this thing now. It's like in order to spend money, you need to deliberately go to one specific area in the game and deliberately go to that like counter and say I want to buy something.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hidden.
You need
away.
to go there for that purpose.
They're never advertising anything to you until you go there, and it's kind of the same with Elite. Like they'll mention stuff in the newsletter and other things, and like you can view all the cosmetic items as well. I would kind of prefer spending all the money up front and then they just add stuff in it later. It's like, I mean, you could say a $50 game plus a $20 or $30 season pass. Just charge me the $80 up front and add content in for free later.
Yeah. To me, that's the way I prefer it, but I don't necessarily mind this, I guess, because it's more player choice, I guess, and it's not like a. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Dead or Alive situation, but Dead or Alive 5 was free with like a few fighters, but then like the DLC and all the costumes, like someone did the math on how much you would have to spend if you wanted all the DLC for Dead or Alive and all the costumes, and it was like $1,000.
Yeah, that's dumb.
It's like obscene. This seems less obscene, so I'm cool with it. Plus, it's the same developers who do, like, if you're not familiar with Arc System Works, they do Dragon Ball FighterZ and Guilty Gear, and obviously they do the BlazBlue games. So they're solid. Dragon Ball FighterZ has been really well received. It's going to be at EVO this year.
Esports ready.
Yeah. And actually, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle is going to be at EVO this year, which is funny because it's not even out yet. It doesn't come out till June, and EVO's in August.
What a horrible way to die. Like, close your mouth!
Though. Yeah. That's everything that was on the topic list this week, which is maybe the first time we haven't rushed through anything on a topic list. Does anybody have anything else in particular they want to? We're only on an hour and 18 minutes.
I saw Grand Budapest Hotel the other day.
I love that movie. I've seen that movie like 8 times. What do you think of it?
I enjoyed it. It was a little up its own ass, but I thought it was shot well.
It is the most Wes Anderson of his films.
Yeah.
I think I agree with
quite
that.
a lot.
Yeah.
Now, I still enjoy it because I really do.
No, I haven't seen
Wes
Isle
Anderson.
of Dogs because apparently it's impossible to get showtimes.
Yeah.
In this fucking place.
I couldn't go see it because it's like it's in theaters.
It's sold out. Oh
no,
really?
it's not sold out. It's
just gone.
Yeah.
So like it came out on last Thursday, and I looked for showings last Thursday, couldn't get any. I looked for showings last Saturday, couldn't get any, and then I was like, wait a minute, it's just not here for some reason. So
we just didn't get it.
We just didn't get it because fuck Newfoundland. I guess.
They had Sobe Square in like 2 months.
But it's advertised here in like the things like turn off your cell phone. I'm a dog. Like I was upset personally.
But I'm trying to.
They should have played that before A Quiet
Place. I
Place.
haven't seen Rampage. Again, there's getting to the part of the year where it's like, there's a bunch of mediocre films coming out, and I'm just like, I don't know, not mediocre, but like films I'm like mediocre on. Like, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to go spend all the money to see this when like all the other films are coming out this year that I want to go see. By the way, there was a new Deadpool trailer that came out. And
God, how many of those are they going to release?
This is the last one. It says that this is the last Deadpool trailer, but there's a pretty funny moment in the trailer where they introduce a new character. I'm not going to spoil it, but I recommend you go watch the trailer. It's pretty fucking funny.
A man has Wolverine in it.
Watch the trailer.
Oh, okay.
When does Deadpool come out? What's the release date on that?
Oh, god damn it.
I don't know.
Oh, I know what I gotta do.
Yeah, pulling a
I'm obviously going to see Deadpool. I'm just curious. I'm going to try to see everything this year that I can.
May.
Well, there you go.
The official release date.
I've been playing a bit of Star Citizen as well. Talk about that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, for those who are unaware of the status of Star Citizen and the recent PC thing,
the what?
Like the free weekend.
Oh, yeah. Well, I bought it as well.
Oh.
Because it was like $40 off, so I was like, you know what? I enjoyed my time with this free fly weekend. I'll buy it now.
Right, yeah.
May 16th, it's not done. That much is obvious.
It definitely.
But what's in the game at the moment is really good. Like if they could just get the server, like 'cause for the most part, and it was bad over the weekend. They extended it to Tuesday as well, so it was actually like 4 days.
Yeah.
The servers were under massive strain. I assume they did the free fly thing to get the numbers in there to test.
Well, yeah, that's
servers.
good. That's what it should happen.
I'll save you, citizen.
And that much was obvious because the servers were really
Jesus Christ!
I actually think that's an underappreciated part of betas is that they're not demos.
Yeah. No, but and this was good because it lets you get in there and screw around with it. But very much the issue with the game at that point, I don't know what it's like. I haven't really played much of it in the last couple of days, but the servers were really struggling. All the performance issues were almost entirely server side from what I could see. There's nothing graphically that I could change that really made a difference. Some areas we were getting, and it depends on the server as well. Some areas and some servers you would get 40, 50 frames a second, and then other servers you'd get like 3,
Sweet.
And depending on...
areas?
Same areas, yeah. And it also depended on like if there was a shitload of people and they all had ships spawned and like ginormous ships as well.
It's a good house with no staircase.
Yeah.
But if they could just
double. Remember, honey, if you want to get upstairs, double jump.
if they could just polish the performance issues now. Get the game to run at 60 now. It would be awesome. It's really good. Going down to the planet surfaces.
No.
The gunplay, the way the mission system like aggregates missions. It's all really good. It's really fun. We'll probably do a podcast on it or something in a week.
Sure,
or two
yeah.
or something. It's really good though.
If nobody else has anything, I got something I want to
fire away.
Get off your chest.
Yeah. It was I wanted to bring this up last week on the podcast, but I forgot. Plain and simple, I forgot. I suppose I should talk about my internet history before I kind of get into what I'm talking about very briefly.
God, no.
Like my history of time on the internet. So like back in the day, I used before just when YouTube was starting to become a big thing.
Yeah.
Because before that was like the Newgrounds days, where that's where like everyone went for videos and stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
I got into this this channel called ThatGuyWithTheGlasses.com, and the Nostalgia Critic.
I'm glad we're talking about this, by the way.
And the Nostalgia Critic, for a long time, you could almost consider the Nostalgia Critic my first kind of YouTube or online personality group. Even before Rooster Teeth, I got into That Guy with the Glasses. So I got really into a lot of the contributors. So Angry Joe, Linkara, Spoonie, Cinema Snob, Nostalgia Chick, all those.
A lot of really weird folks.
Well,
we're getting there. We're getting there. Though.
And they were and I liked all of their, and especially the Nostalgia Critic, I liked all of their content. They were really funny, and I thought, you know, they even did some good, like, it was the first group of people I really kind of, that got me into film analysis and like video game analysis and like just analysis of media and being like, why these comic books are good, why this movie isn't good, what makes it good, and I did it in a comedic way, but it was educating for me, and I like their content. And then over a while, like, some people left the site. You know, Spoonie left because, well, he's an asshole.
Spoonie left existence.
Yeah, and then he left. Yeah, he doesn't make anything anymore. But
he live streams sometimes.
Occasionally,
I think. Yeah.
That's true.
But I mean, besides that, he doesn't really make content anymore. And then like Nostalgia Chick left, and a bunch of other people left. And recently, his channel, which got renamed to Channel Awesome, got into a lot of trouble. Or is in a lot of trouble, because at the beginning of March they had 40 contributors to the site, and at the end of March they had 13 or 14 or something like that. And the reason is because apparently for years and years and years and years,
a giant document.
Yeah, there was a bunch of the contributors who left created a Google Doc citing all the grievances that they say hadn't been addressed for years, and the main grievances are
awesome.
Yeah, well, essentially yes, because apparently all the grievances are pretty much the same thing. I mean, there's a couple of, like, each individual has, like, their own, but all of them kind of say the same thing, whereas we were promised that we would get promotion on this site. That's why we were on the site in the first place, in order to get promotion and get our brand out there. And we weren't getting it, and frankly, we weren't being treated very well by the top brass of the site, mostly by the guy, I don't forget the guy's name, who's the kind of president of Channel Awesome.
John Awesome.
Nope. But also by Doug Walker and Rob Walker, who are Nostalgia Critic and his brother.
Yeah.
They also cited, like, said they're part of the problem because they didn't really fix anything, and they, you know, occasionally they did something that was wrong, but I mean, that's just being people. But it came out that kind of like that working for Channel Awesome was not actually that great, and one of the biggest people to leave recently was Louis Lovehog, who was Linkara, who was one of the biggest contributors to the site and the longest lasting. He's been there since 2008.
Yeah, one of the last one to jump off ship, basically.
Yeah, of the big guys.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else had left before him, and he was the last one. And when he left, I was like, oh shit. And I mean, I still watch the Nostalgia Critic stuff, and because I still think he's funny. Not that he's making videos the last little bit, because he's been dealing with this crisis. And I still watch Linkara and all of them, really. I still, like, I'm not, like, religious about it anymore.
Man, them rope physics.
When I go into, like, every now and again, if, like, I see, like, Nostalgia Chick or Lindsay Ellis, if she makes a cool video, like, she did a series of videos recently about the making of the Hobbit films and, like, everything that went into that, and I thought that those were very interesting, so I'll watch her stuff. Linkara makes a good video, I'll watch those. And it's just sad to see, like, what happened to that channel, because originally that's what I wanted to, I not a dream, but I would have been like, it would have been cool to work for that channel when I was, you know, that's what I wanted to do. Like, come out of high school and be like, hey, maybe I'll work for this channel and, like, make video content. Never happened, obviously, although I am making video content now, but it sucks to see that one of my favorite and first, like, big communities that I was involved with on the internet has kind of just collapsed.
So, yeah, so this is interesting. Because I've been a fan of a variety of things over the internet years, and usually what happens is this stuff just sort of dies out. It loses its appeal to you,
Mike McCowd, I believe, is the guy.
Right, the main dude. Yeah. So either usually it loses its appeal to you, or it loses its appeal to the creator, and the creator just goes off and does their own thing. Like most recently, for a lot of people, you know, Filthy Frank, Joji, right, went off, did his own thing. Decided to put a rest to the, you know, beloved Filthy Frank series of videos, and but it's it's less often that something literally just implodes like this.
Yeah.
Right? Usually it just kind of fades away quietly.
Yeah, well, that's what happened, like, originally. Like, it was like, the Cinema Snob left, not because he had any major... I'm sure he did, but, like, he didn't cite any major grievances when he left. He's like, yeah, I just want to make my own... I just want to make my own content of my own. Like, I've grown my brand enough on this, and I think I'm better suited... My brand is better suited on its own thing. I mean, I'll still partner with these guys, and I'm, like, no ill will, and I'll still, like... He did an occasional... Like, he does videos with Lewis, like, they'll go to movies, because they live in the same area. They go to movies and do, like, reviews about it and stuff. But he had his own brand.
Ray from Rooster Teeth.
Yeah,
doing his own thing.
Yeah. But it sucks that also they had like a lot of them, and even especially Lewis Lovehog, Mankara, left because not because he wanted to grow his own channel, but because he was just sick and tired of dealing with the crap that he was being given at this channel.
Yeah, that's not ideal, and I think that Channel Awesome.
I'm tired of your opinions, Adam. You shut up.
As many like well-known content creators have been involved with Channel Awesome as there has been, Channel Awesome is a little undercredited as far as
is that pubic hair
pushing people's preferences in terms of reviews. Like for instance, like there's some of your formative, like you say, talk about film analysis, right? So me and Adam have both reviewed films in some capacity in our day.
Yeah.
And
by the way, not to rush you, but our camera's literally done.
Oh yeah.
Is it not? It should be plugged in unless it's running out of space.
It's just shut out. It's dark.
Yeah, it's dead.
Bye.
Bye, camera 2.
Very quickly. And that's been whereas my formative film critic experiences are different than yours, and that colors the way I look at films and I review films. And so they definitely deserve a lot of credit for this. I didn't see this coming, but Andrew has a significant point about some of the strangeness that's sort of surrounded Channel Awesome over its years.
We can't really get into it now.
No, yeah.
Bye, everyone.
We will be back next week.
Yeah, we kind of have to end because the camera died. Sorry about that.
You can't see us.
We continue our Pixel Junkies journey through professionalism.
There you go. There they are over there. Oh, man.
Bye.